Katie, I'm so excited to hear about a different bill.
Great.
That's 89. Will you tell us about it?
I will.
In not great detail.
Sure. So I just pulled it up on the screen. Katie McMahon, Office of Legislative Counsel. So this is a bill about a forensic facility having a new programming option, which is a forensic facility. It would be for individuals who are in the custody of the Commissioner of Mental Health or custody of the Commissioner of Dale. As the bill came over from the Senate, this bill had all of the language in it for admissions criteria as to how somebody would end up in a forensic facility. I should back up and say these are individuals who are coming into commitment through the criminal justice system. They're individuals who are either not competent to stand trial or who are not guilty by reason of insanity, and their underlying charge is related to violence against another person. And so the concept is that there would be a forensic facility by July 1 of 2024, and that the bill as it came over from the Senate was the language to sort of mechanize those commitment processes for somebody to be treated or receive programming in a forensic facility. I think the concept is still the same, but all of the language with the admission criteria has been taken out as the bill moved through the process. There were some committees who felt like the language around individuals with intellectual disabilities needed more further study. So this bill creates a working group to study the admissions language and criteria around individuals with developmental disabilities. Also just assessing whether those individuals should be receiving program at a forensic facility if that is the right option. So it's sort of
create a forensic facility and it's just
the bill
disabilities, or is it just a study?
The bill never created a forensic facility because the vision is that one of the units at the Vermont Psychiatric Care Hospital would be repurposed for this. So what it did, and it's like create a new option, a new avenue. So without the admissions criteria, it doesn't do this, but if you care to read the legislative intent, you'll sort of see that there's still this idea that once the work group has met and has proposed language for admissions around individuals with intellectual disability, that the bill will, we'll have to do this process again next year with the criteria, and that the facility would be up and running by July 1 of 2024. Would you like to look at the language, or that was enough?
Does anyone want anything more? Do you want to tell us why we're here today?
Sure. I have a question. You're going back to the joke from the earlier session, because that's my.
No. Yes, I'm that clever. That's how clever I am.
That's where my head went. All right.
Thanks, Katie.
For the record, Noel Langwell, Joint Fiscal Office. So I'm here because Section 2 of the bill has an exclusion from the certificate of need process. And I assume that everyone here is familiar with what certificate of need is.
Tell us.
Certificate of need is when usually a healthcare, and Katie can correct me if she's familiar, but when a healthcare facility is making an expenditure, certain types of expenditures over a certain amount, and I don't remember what those thresholds are, they have to file what's called the certificate of need with the Green Mountain Care Board and get approval, and there's a fee that goes along with that. And the fee is basically it's the cost of the project times 0.125%. So that's the fee. The fee can't be less than $250, and it can't be more than $20,000. So like usually there's a minimum and a maximum that you would pay. So I spoke to the folks at DCF and not DCF, DMH, and even though there's no real, they say there's no cost associated with this, but the certificate of need would be tied to the underlying cost of the existing program. And long story short, if they were to pay a fee on the certificate of need, it would probably be around $15,000. But this language waives that. And also the other thing to keep in mind is it's one state agency paying another state agency. So it's really more of an interdepartmental transfer in theory. So it's not like we're raising new money or it's a loss of money to state government. And the final thing I'll say is that it's also not as if the Green Mountain Care Board has assumed that revenue in their budget and would be a loss to them. They haven't assumed anything because I don't even know what the timing of it is. So that's my 4 bullet points.
Maybe what I'm going to ask is a distinction without a difference. But I was not aware that the certificate of need was applicable to repurposing.
Repurposing?
Yeah,
Oh,
facility that already exists.
I might defer to Katie because
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with the general counsel of DMH when we were drafting the bill and we were looking at the statutory language for the CON together. And we both came to the conclusion that, what they were planning to do would likely be captured by the CON language, which is why the exclusion is there.
Interesting. Okay, thank you.
the other question I had when I was doing my vast research on the subject was that is it common for state agencies to be, have to pay to the certificate of need? And the answer is yes. It's not uncommon at all. So it has happened, and I have multiple examples of when state agencies have had to apply for a certificate of need.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any comments about this bill? Are folks ready to vote on the bill?
I move that we find S89 favorable.
Second.
Representative Andrews moved that we find S89 favorable as amended by House Human Services. Human Services?
No.
Judiciary, excuse me. And Representative Aaron seconded. Any discussion? The clerk, please call the roll.
Andrews, yes. Anthony,
Yes.
Beck. Brannigan,
Yes.
Tamaro,
Yes.
Maslin,
Yep.
Maddox,
Yep.
Bodie,
Yes.
Sims,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Canfield,
Yes.
Kornheiser.
Yes.
1101.
Thank you. I'll see you on the floor. And then Monday, we are here at 11 a.m.
11 now.
That's what I said just an hour ago.
Oh, I thought you said 9 or something earlier.
Jim, you can get here now.
We have to do a lot.
You can get here now.
No,
Sorcha's gonna send everyone an email between now and then, reminding them of the situation, and maybe we'll even get a text message, but 11 a.m. on Monday.
May
May I
I also ask that if, I think I've talked to everyone here, we're gonna go